If you drive a newer-ish Ford F-150, then it probably has a 2.7-liter engine, a 3.5-liter engine, or a 5-liter engine, and in many cases it's also got remote start. Do you ever wonder what it costs you in fuel just to run that remote start system over the course of a winter? Well, I bet you do now, and I've been busy poring over some information to help you put a dollar figure on it. Based on data from my pals at Natural Resources Canada, where you'll find everything and anything you can think of related to fuel consumption and emissions, I was able to get my hands on some complicated mathematics that show how much fuel an engine uses while it's idling. And all you need is the engine's displacement, the formula, a bit of arithmetic and a calculator, and a few hours of number crunching and a couple of cups of coffee, and you're off to the races. I'm a Canadian, so I'm using liters and Canadian dollars. So assuming a fuel price of $1.25 a liter and defining winter as the 4-month period between mid-November and mid-March, and assuming that you'll use your remote start for 25 days out of each of those months, I've come up with the costs that follow by the size of your F-150's engine and how much you use the remote start. For that, I'm assuming that you could be a light, average, or heavy remote start user, in which case you'll use the remote start for 7, 12, or 20 minutes on each of those 25 days out of the month. Your results may vary, but this should be a good ballpark to put a dollar figure on what it cost you to avoid a cold commute this past winter. If you're running the 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6 and you are a light user of remote start, then you probably idled for 700 minutes this past winter for a cost of about $23. If you're an average user of remote start, then you idled for about 1,200 minutes this past winter, and it cost you about $40. Heavy remote start users in this scenario idled for 2,000 minutes. That's roughly 33 hours of idling, you monster, and that cost you $67. Got yourself the 3.5-liter EcoBoost? Then if you're a light user, you spent about $31 on remote start fuel this past winter, or about $52.50 if you're what I'm calling an average user. And if you're remote starting for 20 minutes a day, 25 days a month, then over my 4-month winter, you, my friend, spent nearly $90 to avoid being cold on your way to and from work. Rocking the 5-liter V8 at 7 minutes a day, 25 days a month, and 4 months of winter, your cost is about $44. Average users at 12 minutes a day spent $75, and if you're a heavy user, then you dropped a whopping 125 big ones on not being cold. That's got to be coming up on pretty close to a full tank of fuel. My goodness. That is my math lesson.